Alright. I really wish I could upgrade the lights in here so it was brighter. Let's see. So I got a couple of things to drop off, and then we'll get rolling. First and foremost, let's get rid of all the miscellaneous objects. Done. Next up, refine ore. Pretty much everything. Hopefully with the, hopefully with this second game, they refine this, so it's just refine all ore. Like, honestly, I kind of wish the refinery would just refine ore automatically, as opposed to, you queuing it up yourself. Like, I can kind of understand the bioprocessor not refining everything just because. But even then... let's just queue all these up. Even then, it would be kind of nice if you could just set quota limits and so on and so forth. Let's see. Oh, did I typo Project Winter for today? Oh, you're right. I did. Let me fix that. I've been really tired lately, and so I haven't exactly been on the ball for the work I need to do. Okay, we've got... Right. But the next level mining chip requires us to be here for a while. I think we've got enough ore. I'm pretty decked out. What do we have? Resources aplenty. We've got some stuff to drop off. Let's see. This is junk. I'm not necessarily sure. I know we need some amount of that stuff for the end. Somebody had said, like, hey, by the way, if you, like, you want to hoard this stuff so that you can actually beat the game. And I don't have enough of it yet. Alright. Oh, right. We're gonna go switch powers around, because we're going somewhere. We've already got the correct software chips. Oh, no, no. We've only got engineering 3 and research 3. But that still lets us work on the 4 stuff. I'm not actually sure what NG4 does for me. Also, I should look up the grenade launcher. Plasma launcher. Where do we get these? The plasma launcher... Oh. Can only be obtained after researching its associated data chip, which can be found in the Carson Hotel. So we gotta go up to FO5 in the hotel. Let's turn off the Gemini district, because I think we found everything there. Let's go back to the Carson, which the infection there has spread, unfortunately. Hey, thank you, Vinman, for the 245 bits. Thanks so much. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to Carson. We should already have pretty much everything available, and can just take the elevator to the top. So I don't have to worry too much about it. So, don't know too much about this game. What's it about? So, zombie outbreak on Mars. I think it might actually be nanites, but I could be wrong. But effectively, weird disease outbreak on Mars. We were the sole survivor, woke up in a prison, and are currently trying to build our way up to escaping by, I think, fabricating a whole... fabricating... possibly a whole rocket? I'll have to figure it out exactly. But it plays kind of like Hotline Miami, crossed with, like, maybe some Fallout 4 and some other things. It's actually super compelling. I enjoy it a lot. It's, Oh. Oh, no. This is actually one of the ones that I barely even explored. I didn't even touch this place. Because I didn't need to. Because I found everything I needed already. Well, I guess time for the long haul. At least we know the stuff that I'm specifically looking for is at the very bottom. So I can just go quick here. Yeah, I wish the user experience was better. The art in particular holds the UX back a bit. Pretty cool, but it makes it hard to keep track of what's happening. Yeah, kind of. You mean the UI? I guess UI and UX are very similar. Right. I need my flashlight on. But no, I would agree with you somewhat. This is a game that very much feels like it was a small team's passion project and might not have had a lot of experience behind it initially. Maybe. Let's see. Did I actually loot that? Yeah, I did. I'm really hoping they take a lot of these things into account for the sequel. Because, like, it's a cool format, and it's handled well enough for this game. But I could see with some refinement, this could be incredible. It just needs that refinement. Let's see. Is anything even in here? No, it's just a basic lounge. Yeah, UI is part of UX. Agree. Passion project, small group. It's very compelling gameplay-wise. Just needs refining and polish. Yup. I'm just happy to know that they are working on a second one. It's always a shame when you get those, like, really promising indie developers that make one game, but don't have enough budget to make a sequel. Or any kind of follow-up. And so, like, any cool ideas that they might have had, might have been able to take with them, are lost. Like, one of my absolute favorite indie games from a while ago, just in terms of, like, sheer novelty, was a game called Fate Tectonics. Absolutely adored that game. It was really cool. And, yeah, it didn't justify enough sales to make a subsequent one. Which is a shame, because it actually, like, it has a lot in common with Dorfromantik. In terms of, like, presentation and overall gameplay. That is a big sucker. And I would have loved to see them continue on and make something, I mean, greater, yes, but just with the knowledge that they had gained over the course of its development. There's a couple of games like that where it's just like, oh man, just a little bit more, and this would have been amazing. Let's see, is it on my YouTube playlist? Should be, yeah. It's an ancient playlist, so I can't comment on how good it is, comparatively. But the game itself was good. Like, that was back before I was even streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Back when I was doing the co-streams. On both platforms. Is that like 2015, early 2016? It's ancient news as far as, like, my channel is concerned at this point. It's super weird to think of the fact that, yes, I've been doing this for almost 8 years, that some people that grew up, like, some people that started watching my videos when they were 10, you know, they're almost adults now. Or maybe they are adults, kind of depending on the year. And timing and whatnot. Well, no, not really, but still. You know, a number of people that probably found me in high school have gone to college and graduated. And here I am, still playing video games. It's fine. I don't actually mind. It's just kind of that weird realization of passing time in terms of, like, the fan base changes, the times change, and yeah, so much of my content, I think so many of my videos are just going to get buried over the years purely just based on time. That most people don't really want to go delving into a 7-year-old playlist. Let's see. There we go. Just gotta be a little careful. There's a lot of... Oh, it's a gymnasium, of course. I don't know why gymnasiums in this game are just like... Well, no, I do know. Gymnasiums in this game are just absolute refuges for horrible critters. Was that... Oh. Should probably use the shotgun more. Okay, so far so good. Trying to avoid damage, but I kind of want to save my SMG if I can. Okay, that was weird. Didn't switch my weapon intentionally, I don't think. Okay, and this is all just this. Let's see, what's Ring Fit? Workout game, but Wander hasn't played in a while. Yeah, I got hurt again. I don't want to do an exercise game when I'm not feeling my best. And so it's kind of difficult to roll with. Oh, this is nothing useful. It's real good though. Like, I need to go back to Ring Fit just for the sake of playing some more of it. Because, yeah, as life goes back to normal, I would very much like to, actually be a fit boy so that I can go out and do interesting things again. Like hiking. And that's harder when you haven't exercised much. I don't get out at all. It's bad. Okay, this is nothing. Whoops. I didn't need to. They might sneak up on me, but I'm going for speed right now. Because, yeah, I have to clear out a whole extra building that I didn't realize I needed to clear out. And I'd rather not do that. But I do want to get the plasma launcher, because that sounds incredible. Let's see. I hope you feel better soon. The stomach bug. Last Monday. Not fun. Yeah. For me, It's minor, but it's just inconvenient enough that exercise would be miserable. Please do a Let's Play on Subterrain 2. Yep. I'll have to see how they handle it. If it starts early access, I'll probably just do a one-off and then come back when it's done. And then work up from there. I have not been too big on early access survival games recently. Like, more early access games need to do the, Valheim thing, where their early access version is stupidly good. I don't know if those spiders can open doors. I'm gonna hope they can't. The other guys didn't seem really interested, which is good. Okay. There we go. And I should have a spare one of these. Not that it really matters too much, but I might as well plug that in. Oh, I need to go to the bathroom, don't I? Have we found any apartments around here? Nope. Yeah, they just entered Alpha, so I wouldn't peg it on coming out soon. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I will gladly play it when it is in a state that it can be played. And played well. Oh, good. Convenient bathroom. Nope, not convenient bathroom. Or, yes. Convenient bathroom. With a lot of storage in it for some reason. Unfortunately, this game makes me want to go back and play Pamela, but I know Pamela... Like, if Pamela played like this, I would be so happy. Because they're very similar games with completely different approaches. Pamela was a hand-designed environment... Like, it was a completely hand-designed environment, but you were practically supposed to die over and over and over again, and that was kind of exhausting. Whereas conversely, this kind of randomly generated an environment that's not that interesting to explore, but you're not really supposed to die a bunch. You can tune it so you can, but still. Let's see. Wonder you're gonna check out Darkwood. Ah, Halloween. I just don't really feel like playing horror games outside of kind of the fall season. I'll do it if it's something interesting. Like, I'll play BioShock and I'll play this because they feel more compelling to me. But personally, I'd rather do kind of like a yearly game roundup where I sit down and say like, oh man, here's a bunch of cool like horror-ish games that came out this year, and turn October into kind of a showcase month, especially like if I plan on going on vacation in October, because that's usually when I go. Like October and September tend to be my absolute slowest months, just in terms of like new releases. No, there's still a lot of new releases that come out in October, but that's usually when metrics plummet. For some reason, this season right now actually got really bad. I'm not sure why. I think it's because everybody keeps doing these like weird batch releases. Like I've got dozens of games coming out like at the end of this week. All viewers are catching up on school, basically. I could see that. I should probably take a decontamination pill too. I've taken some smacks. Anyway, let's see. Is that an egg? No, that's a... I think that's a plant. It's a weird-ass looking plant. I think that's exactly what it is. What are you? Oh, I think this is... No, it's a bathroom. It's like, what is this room? Answers... Oh, it's like a fitness center locker room. I actually haven't seen this tile before. Not that it matters too much. Okay. Yeah, October tends to be kind of my time to maybe consider going on vacation before the Christmas rush. I think I generally prefer June, but from what I've seen, June this year is, like, packed as well, so hell if I know. I don't know. Vacations are hard when you set your own hours. I don't know how other, like, self-employed people do it. Usually the answer is just they never take vacations, and that's tragic. Okay. What floor are we on? Okay. We're on floor 4. So one more and then we're good to go. You never saw BioShock as horror. Prey, maybe. The thing is, for both of them, they were spooky. Like, BioShock was one of the first games to actually scare me. Well, no. As an adult, BioShock was one of the first games to scare me. Phantom Ganon in Ocarina of Time scared the shit out of me. I could not handle him. I don't know why. Like, 12-year-old me was just, like, not cool with whatever he was. And so, like, couldn't deal with him. Otherwise, it wasn't so bad. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that, like, outright spooked me in video games back in the day. There are a couple of movies that did. Let's see. Is this it? This actually looks exactly like where I need to be. Okay. Prototype plasma launcher blueprint. That's what we're here for. Alright, cool. So what this is, does, is now I can make the plasma launcher, which I kind of want for big groups, and also to see how ridiculous it gets. Hopefully enough time's passed that we can get that mining chip in. Okay, anything else in here? Not overwhelmingly? Yep. I walked right into that one. Probably actually... Nope. Pop a basic med kit. Let's see. There we go. The Bioshock has a lot of body horror, but I wouldn't call it specifically horror. It had the tension and the spookiness that I would call it horror. Just not in the same way that I would call, say, Five Nights at Freddy's horror. Or Amnesia horror. But, like... Listening to... Even, like, in the very beginning when you're in the bathysphere and, like, the first psycho that you run into, whatever they're called? Splicer, there we go. You know, even just having them crawling around the outside of the bathysphere and, like, trying to get in at you, that was freaky. Maybe not the kind of thing that a lot of people would find spooky nowadays compared to some other horror games, but, like, for me, that was horror enough. Honestly, I would say Bioshock was scarier than, like, Until Dawn, which is absolutely a slasher flick style horror game. Let's see. The original Resident Evil 2 scared me so much I couldn't get into the gun store. Huh. Shell and I played through the, through Resident Evil 2 Remaster. I thought it was fun, actually. Shell played the original. I think she was spooked by the liquor. But I've never actually gone back and played the original Resident Evils 2 or 3. We've been kind of slowly making our way through the Resident Evil games. Like, we've got an unreleased playthrough of Resident Evil 3 that I'll put up at some point along the way. Okay, anything else? The answer is no. Are you still going? Yep, but only 40 minutes left. That's good. Go food, let us eat spaghetti. We've been spaghetted. And then let us rest. Because yeah, now our mining data chip is done, so we can go plug that in. And then hopefully mine enough. We'll do a couple of short sections to get what I need. Hopefully mine enough to start getting the better tech. Gotta poo, but we don't have to poo anytime soon. I mean, soon, yes, but not like urgent need. Good. It just requires palladium. I thought the liquor was kind of disgusting, but the body horror never bugged me. Psychological is about the only thing that gets to me. Junji's mangas would occasionally get to me, for example. I saw Amigara Fault, and that was enough for me. After that one, I was just kind of like, I am not really interested in this guy's work. I totally understand why people love him and the stuff that he does, but on my end, I'm just like, I'll pass. I'll do other things. It's not that it's necessarily like a bad, or like they're bad stuff, or even particularly horrible. I just like, I don't know. I base a lot of my mental health, question mark, on like imagining new and interesting things. And I find horror always puts me in, like, a weird funk. That all I can really imagine is horror. And sometimes that's kind of productive. So, like, I've got a really cool idea for a campaign setting. That is... I mean, effectively, it's not too far off of what the sinking city could have been. And maybe that's part of the reason why I came up with this idea. But it's like, oh yeah, I would like to come up with, like, a pseudo... horror-ish... let's see. I guess, not necessarily horror-ish, but like a weird city that's overrun by... I guess I would say eldritch beasts. Okay, mine extractor. So, let's go back down to... 5? Because each of these turns into 40. And what we want to do is just get an amount of everything so that I can process it down, and then we go big. Because, yeah, we're missing a lot of different resources. Oh, it's not the Gadonite. It's probably Xenotime more. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to take a little bit to go, but that's fine, because we can process this stuff. There we go. Does this look at me? Lithium and all the other goodies. Okay, so we want the Polonite ore. There we go. That should give me enough. Do we refine the gems? Yeah, I might as well with some of these, because it's small amounts. Okay. So now, I should be able to, hopefully, make that. I don't care too much about the shotgun, to be honest. But we want to research everything. Do I want to research weapons? Or, like, melee weapons? Maybe? Okay, so that's good. Get the next backpack, get the next flashlight. Oh, I don't have enough yttrium. Xenotime ore, thank you. So we still need a better flashlight. Which is honestly one of the main things I even care to get, but that's okay. Alright. It's not facility, we want these. Still can't make them. We need level 4 software to get the big stuff. And they're not researchable, so as soon as we get those level 4 chips, we're good. So in that case, NG4 is in Leo District. So that's where we're headed next. Let's see, I'm just gonna wait until that Xenotime ore is done processing. Always wanted to do a horror campaign. Let's see. But all you can effectively do is body horror, and half my group can't handle it. Yeah. Yeah. I think part of it is, like, body horror is just kind of weird. That, like, if handled... Oh. Oh, I had the, regular power suit on. I didn't even have a Mark II. Maybe I couldn't make the Mark II. Well, we'll research the Mark II. You know, what I really want to do... Get this flashlight. Yeah. Do I want to get a second one? Takes 40 minutes. Nah, I'll just make do with what I've got. So is there anything else that I immediately need to do? The answer is actually a very hard yes. This gun's having a bad day. Anything else I need to do? Got a backpack large. That's what I need to process. So I think we're just going to start chipping away at the next... next building. Let's queue up a bunch of Xenotime ore. Seeing as I know for a fact I need plenty of that stuff. There we go. Okay, so I'll come back to that later. Let's... yeah. Change the power over. Let's go to Leo, because getting Leo means we can start getting the best stuff. Turn off Carson. We're never going back. There's also the Murray Space Center, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the final area that I go to. Yeah, let's turn this sucker on and let's get punching. Oh, do we want to... here. Not that this really matters. But I might as well grab a pair of Mark IIIs. Reason being, if I can plug them in, this place never will stop getting worse. Oh, you know the other thing we should probably do? I've been kind of lazy about this. Let's actually make the better bandages. This is kind of low priority on my end, but we can research all of these. And so we probably should. Mainly because we're not doing anything else with it anyway. Okay, and these are capped out. And facility is good. Cool. Let's start researching that flashlight, because ultimately I'd like another one, but I'd rather have it researched. Wow. The mod that I have that reduces the research time did not reduce the research time on those flashlights. That's sad. Alright, to the Leo district. This is going to take a while, but that's fine. I'll research those when I get back. We still got plenty of... oh, shoot. Did I remember to recharge? I don't think I did. That's fine. My metrics are pretty full. As long as I don't use the shotgun, I'll be good to go. District of the Lion. Okay. I can hear some weird noises. But I can't tell you if it's the music or what. Man, speaking of other games that freaked me the heck out, just the original Half-Life game was freaking spooky. Like, I have half a mind to go back to that game at some point and just kind of blitz through it with Shell. Because there's like multiple mods that handle co-op for the old Half-Life games, and I think that would actually be really, really fun. The problem is we have too many other games that we need to play. This is kind of my eternal problem of just like, man, I wish games were just like a little shorter so I could play all of them as opposed to some of them. Hey, how many of you guys on the Xbox Games Pass, or like, how many of you guys have the Games Pass subscription? And do you have the same issue that I have? Because effectively, my life is kind of determined by... I am so spoiled for choice that it's almost impossible for me to choose, yes. But also, like, there's just so many potential contenders for my time that every time I sit down to say, like, oh man, what do I want to play? There's just, like, I have so many. And so I usually fall into, like, doing something else. Like, yesterday I very much, I very much was like, man, what do I want to do with myself? Well, I don't want to record anything because my voice is tired. So what do? I guess I'll draw, which actually is like totally fine, but I'm paying for a little bit as I am tired. You know, with a video game, you can kick back and relax. With a with art, I tend to hunch over a little bit and work. The Games Pass has a lot of games to choose from, but there's so much. I honestly wonder if the Games Pass is going to affect how, like, games are designed to some degree. Because I could definitely see a number of enterprising developers effectively designing short, sweet, and interesting games, specifically for the Games Pass. With, like, the idea of, like, what's a good example? How many people remember the Order 1866, I think it was? Or is it 1886? I forget the number on it. That was a game that was beautiful, but like 5.5 hours long. And everybody panned it because, like, you're charging how much for this? And, like, admittedly, I bought it for $4. You know, years later on sale, so it's not so bad. But I feel like that's the kind of game that you could almost release nowadays, specifically through PS Plus and the Games Pass. Like, only through those. And just say, yep, this is how you get it. And then after that, charge whatever you want for it. Kind of, I guess, not exactly what No Man's Sky does, but still. Is it 1486? But that, I don't know, I feel like you could build a business model around the idea of releasing these short, but like incredibly short, but incredibly impressive games. I have to go find the elevator because if I don't turn on the power, we can't traverse this area. No, not there. Here we go. We still need to turn on the power. Was I right next to the generator the entire time? Nope, this is a bathroom. What? Oh, maybe it's over here. By the way, It Takes Two and A Way Out, where only one person needs to buy it so both can play it. Quite interesting. I would love that. Like on a personal level, I guess it doesn't matter so much. Just because, like, I'm not going to say every game for free. There are a number of games that I don't get for free. So, A Way Out, specifically, I had to buy. But, you know, usually it doesn't matter to me. It's like, whatever, I'll just buy a second copy. But, as a kid, I used to install StarCraft Spawn on my friends' computers. Specifically so we could play StarCraft together at LAN parties. And it was perfect. Because, you know, they get kind of a temporary Battle.net-only version of StarCraft. And I would be able to play with my friends. And we just play online. Or online? It was like... It was LAN junk. I don't exactly remember the specifics anymore. Ooh, boy. There's a big boy. Why did I even come in here? I guess it's a power room on the first floor, so it's not the worst idea in the world. Because that was the one thing I was kind of low on anyway. Yeah, also community-based formats such as the Jackbox games.